Hey there, and welcome. Thinking about investing for the first time, it can feel like a huge, complicated thing, right? Well, it really doesn't have to be. Today, we're going to break it all down, step by step, so you can get started feeling confident.
So have you ever thought, man, I wish I could own a piece of a company like Apple or Tesla? It probably feels like something only super rich people can do. But here's the thing, the stock market actually makes it possible for pretty much anyone. And today, we're going to show you exactly how that works.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. 4 simple parts. First, we'll cover what stocks actually are. Then, what you get out of investing. After that, we'll walk through opening your very first account. And we'll finish up by actually making your first trade together. All right, let's jump right in.
Okay, section 1. Let's start with the absolute basics. What in the world is a stock? We hear this word thrown around all the time, but what does it really mean?
All right, so think of it like this. A stock or a share, you'll hear both terms, is basically just a tiny piece of ownership in a company. When you buy a stock, you literally own a small part of that business. You're not just a customer anymore, you're an owner.
Now, this is a great way to think about it. Imagine you and a friend decide to open a restaurant. You both put in half the cash, so you both own half the business, right? You share in the profits. Well, a public company is the exact same idea, just on a much, much bigger scale. Instead of one partner, there are thousands, maybe even millions of owners, and that's what we call shareholders.
Okay, so now you get it. You can own a piece of a company. But what's in it for you? What do you actually get from investing? Let's talk about the rewards. And yeah, the risks too.
So, you can make money in 2 main ways here. The first is through something called dividends. That's when a company is doing well, making a profit, and they decide to share a slice of that profit with their owners. That's you. The second way, and this is what most people think of, is capital gains. Super simple, you buy a stock at one price, and later you sell it for a higher price. The difference is your profit. But, and this is really important, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. A coin always has 2 sides. While there's a chance to make money, there's also a risk that the stock's price could go down, and you could lose money. Understanding this from the get-go is probably the most important part of being a smart investor.
And here's something you need to know. Not all stocks are the same. On one hand, you have growth stocks. These are usually companies that are trying to expand super fast, so they pour all their profits back into the business. On the other hand, you have dividend stocks. These are often older, more stable companies that prefer to pay out a chunk of their profits to shareholders as income. So which is right for you? Well, it depends on your goals. It's all about what you're trying to achieve.
All right, you're with me so far. You know what a stock is, and you know how you can potentially make money from it. So the next big question is, how do you actually do it? Where do you go to buy them?
Yeah, you can't just, pop into the nearest big company's office and ask to buy a share. It doesn't work like that. You need to go through a special company called a broker. Just think of the broker as the gatekeeper, or the bridge that connects you to the stock market.
So picking a broker is your first big step, and there are a few things to look for. First, check the fees. The less you pay in fees, the more of your money is actually working for you. Second, see what kind of tools and research they offer. Good information can help you make better choices. And finally, and this is a non-negotiable, make sure they are officially regulated. That's your safety net. It's there to protect you.
Okay, here we go. This is where the rubber meets the road. You've opened your account, you put some money in it, you're ready to make your first trade. Now, we're going to look at a trading screen. And I get it, it can look super confusing with all those numbers and colors. But trust me, we're just going to break down the important parts, and you'll see it's actually much simpler than you think.
So this is basically what you're going to see. It might be on an app on your phone, a website. They all look pretty similar. Don't get overwhelmed by everything that's moving. We're going to ignore all the noise and focus on the only things you need to know to get started.
Okay, now this part is absolutely critical, so let's really dial in here. You'll see 2 main columns, bid and offer. Bid is the buyer's side. These are the prices people are willing to pay for the stock. Offer is the seller's side. These are the prices people are willing to sell the stock for. So, here's the key. If you want to buy a stock instantly, you have to agree to the seller's price. You'll look at the lowest price on the offer side. That's your target.
Once you've got that bid and offer concept down, placing the order itself is pretty straightforward. It's really just like filling out a little form. First, you select Buy. Then you type in the stock symbol, like a nickname for the company. You decide how many shares you want. That's the volume. You set the price you're willing to pay, and then you just have to confirm it.
But before you hit that confirm button,
Please, just take a second, pause, double-check everything. It's really easy to get excited and rush, but once an order goes through, it's done. You can't really take it back. So just make sure the stock, the number of shares, and the price are exactly what you wanted.
And just like that, you hit confirm, your order is now in the market. And that's it. You've officially done it. You've taken that huge first step. Congratulations, you're now an investor.
You know, that first step is always the biggest and most exciting one. So are you ready to start your journey? I really hope this guide made everything feel a lot more clear and maybe a little less scary. For more guides just like this to help you along the way, make sure you follow our channel. We'd love to have you with us.